see if I've got this. Okay, so should um let's just go here. I'm trying to make sure this is working. Okay, so I can see that. Let me see if it is following me. Make sure I have this down. I'm gonna mute it just in case. I don't know if it's picking me up or not. Test, test. Test. Make sure it's picking up my headphones. Okay. And just in case it's not recording me, I can check that. Let's just see. Okay. Let me check Discord. Okay. That did not make a sound, which makes me worried. Um, okay, so let's look here. I gotta make sure that I can. Alright, hopefully this will work and I can actually, see what's going on. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop off here and actually do my chat through my phone, just in case. So let me pop off of there. Go ahead and close that out too. And then I'm gonna pop my phone up and go to the live there, and that way I can see. And maybe I can use it to hear myself. Alright, so I can hear myself. So I'm going to assume you can hear me when you get here. And so we are going to start. Ah, I see. I see already found us. It is very quiet. I'm going to see if I can figure that out real quick. Sometimes the headset, I may have to eat my mic. It may be really loud now. This mic will sometimes give an issue where it makes me have to put the mic almost in my mouth to actually make you hear me. What I am, and I know I can hear myself through the headset. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my voice down on the phone. You should be able to hear me better. Is that better already off? Please let me know if it does get away from my mouth again because I'm known to knock it off. Okay, so well, we'll kind of begin here. You missed yesterday. Worked on this area. I worked on it more today. It has frustrated the crap out of me, and that is because some of the layers have gotten mixed up together. And so when I would try to go edit something, something would clash with it, or the game would crash and stuff like that. Because Godot is very picky on how much you actually do at one time. If you try to do too much at one time, it crashes, and it's not going to show you any mercy by loading back in. It will literally just say bye. And so I'm going to be saving a lot. I'm going to save right now, though I have not touched anything. But today I would like to actually work more on this area, fleshing it out, fixing the issues, deciding what is deep end here in the water, what is not deep end. I was trying to do deep end all around. I'm like, well, a river is not going to be just a deep end. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through on some of these bigger chunky parts. And actually put a deep end in them, but not really a big deep end. Obviously, it's a river. It's going to be shallow for the most part over. It may not even need a deep end. It may be fine just shallow, because I don't even think Stardew does a deep end for any of its rivers, only its lake. And it is supposed to be a lake, so it is going to be a lake. It's not going to be your big old lake, because I am going to have access to people walking up and down and into the middle areas through bridges and all that other stuff. And then today I'd also like to, I'm going to try to get some of the mountainous regions done. This is actually what I would like to lead up to a waterfall situation. And as you can see, the waterfall tiles are right here. I am learning how to animate them. So it's going to take me some time to actually get them animated in. I'm going to have Photos help me. So you do see this. This is the animated water, but it is also separated in its own little filters. And so I'm going to get my phone to where I can see it. And that way, if you ask a question or anything, you are welcome to. And I'm also in Discord if you want to chat with me. I'm going to do it there just in case nobody wants to get on YouTube. But I'm also going to try to do it here. Unless we have an issue where Godot starts crashing because of too many systems running at once. Then I'm going to probably just stick to YouTube Live. And then that way we can keep the live thereafters. Like you were saying, video on demand. I'll look at the settings after we do this and kind of decide how long it needs to stay on YouTube. It may stay forever. YouTube has changed since the last time I live streamed, which was a long time ago, probably about 2020, maybe even farther. And so it's definitely changed its reasoning, which is why I could not get the video on demand last night, because I had to wait 24 hours after proving my ID as the owner of the channel to be able to actually get it. And it actually unlocked before the full 24 hours, which was only about 15 minutes before. It would have been nice if I'd had all this set up earlier. It did not work out that way. And so we're going to kind of start. What I'm going to be working on, like I said, is going to be adding some bridges, kind of adding some foliage and stuff today. I want to try and get this area looking like a place that you can actually walk around. Yesterday, when me and Nerdy and Jay Thacker was in here, it was kind of interesting because the character model was over here, so I never could find this area. So I have moved the map over here to the middle. And that way, I just shoved everything over, and that way the player model is on the map. And that makes it 10 times easier for me. I don't have to stress about it. I did right before stopping earlier, which I only gave myself an hour and a half break. I've been working on this for a lot of the morning, trying to fix the issues I caused yesterday and fix some of the auto tile issues. Because I'm still learning this auto tile system. And apparently, me trying to put two different terrain series and path auto tile pathing in the same layer is causing issues. So I had to create separate layers for each of those. And people are saying it's just easier, instead of causing yourself issue, just create another layer and put it on top of the layer, over the layer that you want it to be over, and obviously below the layers you don't want it to be over. And so it may be a hot mess by the time I get done with this, but we're going to just roll with it. I'm going to start by placing these tiles, and yeah, we're just going to kind of start decorating. I did have a pathway already. Decided not to use it. The reason I decided not to use it is because it was the grass to snow pathway. That was not good. That wasn't terrible. And the reason I chose not to use it is because I want to actually think I'm going to use those as grass patches in the ground instead of using them. And this is too big. Instead of using them to define a path. It looked beautiful, but I think it'll look even better against the brown actual pathway that is actually provided by the assets. So what I don't want is my bad drawing to mess up the sizing of the scale. The character model is not huge. So you don't need massive scaled pathways. And so I'm trying to be careful with that. It's frustrating sometimes. You think you get it, and then it's like, it didn't look as good as you want it to. And then you're like, well, how do I go back and get it the way I want it? And that way it's not, clashing, not getting in the way. And so, looking at this whole entire map, I had to do that. I had to look at the area. Originally, it was bigger areas and all that. Well, it turns out it'd take you 3 years to walk one side to the other. And I was like, okay, so I have to learn what the actual scale of the player is to the scale of being this far zoomed out. And so this is kind of what I've dealt with. I have not walked the full pathway down here since I had to fix this because my dogs decided I didn't need the area that was originally there. And so... so these areas, they look like they're small, but they look like they're tiny, but they're actually really big. And so you'll notice that whenever we start walking around in the actual game view, as I see how things look, because there's going to be some errors in the mapping I won't see in this view. It'll only be when I'm up close to it looking at the actual scale it's supposed to be at. And so I'm going to go ahead and try and fix my little error here. We're going to... Nope. I'm still on erase mode. See, and this is where I'm mess up. I don't want line art. I don't mind line art, but I can draw. I mean, I know I can draw. So we'll call that good. We'll come up here. And I'm not looking for straight pathways. I am looking for it to kind of look unique. I don't want it to just look like somebody, hey, I drew this. I don't want that. And so you're going to be like, oh, well, why'd you draw it that way? Or why does it look, why are you trying to follow the pathway but not, truly follow it? Well, one, I don't want, obviously if this is going to be a mountain part up here, I don't want the path up there because it's going to clash. And so I need it to kind of stay closer to the lake, but not right on the lake because obviously if I put it right on the lake, it's going to... just not look good. And I don't even like how that looks right now. Once again, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to erase what I did because I did not like the shaping of that. And I'm only erasing what you see on the path layer. We won't talk about all these other layers yet because these two are the two I've been fighting with. And you would think that they'd be simple enough. To be honest, I'm shocked I haven't pulled my hair out. It looks better. I really don't know where I'm going with this leg. Don't ask me why I shaped it like this. I have just played with it, and I've just determined what I think looks the best. And yeah. Obviously, where I'm taking these pathways to where it comes to the water, there's going to be a bridge there. Typical, right? You're going to expect to see a bridge there. And so, I can be a little bit more generous on my wide attempt here. Just because I am dealing with... I gotta be careful, I don't want to hold down the mouse too long. I am dealing with a area that's not going to be mountainous. It's not going to have the hills and stuff up here just because you're already on the plain. Obviously, I want this to be the top, and then I need to make another layer that makes it look like it is the final area you will go to. in this area. And so you'll see that. And then, there's going to be other times where I can be a little more adventurous with it. I can be a little bit more my character has broad shoulders. Well, yeah. Wait till you see the character model, though, in these pathways, and you'll see why I did it this way. That looks alright. I can... And then I'm actually going to have a pathway right to here. That looks a little janky. There's some nice janky stuff you can create if you just hold your mouth right in this game. And this, I guess, game creator. Some of the pathways can be bigger. I don't want all of them to be bigger because I do want it to have a little like, this is snow. Do you expect snow to be perfectly square? I mean, I get it maybe in a grass area, but not snow. I don't think I like that. I really, really don't think I like that. Let's just back that up. Let's just not and say we did. I just did not like that. I don't mind that being like that, but I still feel like that maybe we can bring this over and maybe down here. I don't know. Maybe it looks crappy. Maybe you'll find that my mapping skills are not that great in this one. We may be fixing that after I get the cliffs up. We will see. We'll just have to see. So I did add some bridges in. I have the tiles here. I have not done any auto tiling with this. And I don't think I will, because a lot of these structures, it's harder to auto tile them, where the pathways, they're already set up in the weighing format. And I just fight back and forth on actually what I consider an edge and what I don't consider an edge, and the game just laughs at me. But I have a couple of different variations of the same bridges. And the goal is to decide what looks the best in the environment. It's like this is a ford bridge, so... And it's not going to line up really well. I'm going to have to make it line up better. And I think it's because of the tile size compared to the tile size I'm dealing with. So it's fine if it doesn't perfect out. I can perfect it out because I can make the bridge stuff bigger, but I can set it down like that, and there's a bridge. Is that the bridge I want to use, though? I mean, I've got types of bridges, most of them that were going long ways. I don't have a lot of options of bridges going straight down. And that's just the fate of dealing with a top-down game. You don't get many options to pick and choose what you're actually going to do. I definitely don't mind that. I don't like, obviously, my side issues there. But I definitely do not mind putting that in. And I definitely don't want that. So what I'm doing is I'm fixing and making it able to be longer. Because there's pieces that it designs to make sure it reaches its destination. And, it's just one of those things. This may not be the bridge set we go with, but right now it's the bridge set we're going to get in order for me to make progress on this thing. And then I just need to go back up here to pathway, terrain, if I'd actually click it, terrain, and I'm going to bring it actually down. And then that way, at least the terrain matches up to the bridge, and it actually should have come on all the way down anyways. So yeah, it may be me changing the coloring of some of these tile sets. It may be that I have what I want, but I don't like how it looks. This is very cartoony bridged to me, but it goes with this tile set. It goes with this series called the Mana Seed, and so I can't really complain too much because it was designed to go with this. Whoops. I'm going places. I don't want to go places though. I need back over here. So there's that. But what I'm missing here is the fact that there's no depth to it. We don't have any shadows yet. I haven't found any shadow tiles I like. I'm very picky. But Coma does have the tiles from all the FSO games right now. He has completely pulled them from the old system and everything, and he's supposed to be getting me those, which may take 50 years, but I'm going to get them from him. And so our shadows from the FSO series should be in that, and I'll be able to use that to be able to find depth, which is great because I need it. My only issue right now is the way this is angled. Is there's shadows? Well, there's not shadows in here. They're just not. Yeah, I just wish there was a better shadow. I wish it was better arched. And I mean, I could use this, but that doesn't make any sense. I wish this was turned. And I guess it is. It's because it's made out of that one. What do the others look like? Is that the one we're using? No. We're using the yellowish looking version. Yeah, no. What about, let's just use the gray version. Let's just back it up. Let's just back it all the way up. It's probably just the fact that I did not use the right tile. We're just going to back it all the way up. See, that's much better. Still doesn't have as much definition as I would like, but you're not going to get perfect, and it's not a perfect world. So that may have to be expanded on later. Okay, there's another area that requires a bridge, and it's going to be up here. And this is actually going to work with the larger bridge. Is it going to work perfectly, though? Kind of, sort of not. Because really, you should have it like that. Because the way the water lines up. You don't usually have your... Then again, it may be just treating it a little too wide. And I can fix that. Where is this supposed to sit? So yeah, see, it's not going to sit exactly where it's supposed to. And that's fine. So what I'll do is I will take the middle parts and see where I want it. Because I can shorten it. What does the little bridge look like? I know it's going to be short. Because, I mean, this is not a big town area. I don't want it looking like it's a grand entrance. I could make a log. I could make it a log. And this one's going to be an issue because you're going to notice that tiles tend to sit on top of each other sometimes. And this may be not the log that we use. And the reason I say that is you'll see shortly. it's yellowish, and so I may have to look between the others and see what color log is actually properly colored to match up. Because this would be good for like the spring area. It's not very good for obviously a cold wintry area. It's just not. It's not going to blend right. Now this may, and I can put in the other. It's not terrible. Does it go though with everything else? I don't know. I don't know if I want the log to be here. I may just want it to be, it makes sense. Walk over a log to get to a foresty area, but there's no depth. And you can tell from like right there, there's no shadow to identify that this log you're actually stepping on is broken right here. It just kind of looks like you're walking across a blank path. And honestly, I think this needs to be pulled back because it may actually symbolize it's supposed to be hanging over the water and then you just come off the top, which would make sense. So let's get rid of log right there and let's just focus on putting this piece down. This piece probably needs to go right there. It doesn't look great. Still don't look great. Apparently not. Where was the one that we were looking at? So this is the one we were on. I can use the rock bridge. It's fine. I'm just not happy with the high quality definition of the rock bridge. And obviously we can't have any stragglers, so we're going to get rid of that. I can maybe battle that issue with bringing the snowy edge a little bit out, like in. This is through the auto tiling system, so this is allowing me to actually expand on this, and I can expand it out a tad, and then it actually goes to the middle. And I may expand this out so this is actually touching the base and not in the middle of the water. So the pathway ends there. I will obviously want the bridges to cover the air that is there because these two lines clash through the auto tile system. And so I definitely don't want them interacting to that point. And so I'm going to bring it over. I'm going to bring this part over. And I could do it where I could put 2 in there. Yeah. It's not great. Let me see what happens when I just put this over here. Yeah, that's a lot better. So now there's 2 things coming down, and then it's going to go into the water. So the waterfall is going to be somewhere in here, hopefully. I also have moved a path right here, which I would like people to be able to get to here. Obviously, that's a problem because looking at it, I don't have a bridge that's really going to fit that. Not at least that angle. And so I need to fix that. Okay. So I'm fixing it. It's just going to be a pain in the butt. Shallow to deep. I need the other way for the snowy cliff. If I do this, it's going to get pissed off. Yeah. I'm going to bring the log back. I just don't want it there. I want the log to feel like you're going somewhere like harder. Where this area is going to kind of be just an area that you come and you can scavenge and all that stuff. I will have the log in there. I don't know where the log's going to go. Haven't decided. Not sure. Heck, maybe the log could go down here and that could be the entrance. Maybe it doesn't have to be up here. But I could also make an entrance here. The only problem is now I've got to figure out how the heck am I going to reverse these. So the issue I've been having, as I mentioned, I am having issues putting 2 terrain sets in the same tile set. And you can do it, but every time I do it, it backfires. and I'm not sure why. And so let me save. I'm going to try again. I'm going to see if I can make it mad again. And the goal for me is to mainly get it to where I want it to do the reverse ideology here. I want it to actually create snow tiles instead of, it create snow tiles instead of creating water tiles. Because the water tiles are what's making me erase stuff. And you can see an error right there through one of those. And I can actually fix it real quick. But as you can see, it took away the snow. I want it to bring the snow. And every time I've tried this, it's gotten very angry at me. And so I'm going to try again. I'm going to see if I can get past its anger issues. We will see. I've got to actually put the proper terrain on. And I'm going for terrain 1. I haven't named it yet. There's nothing selected for terrain 1. But I will tell you that it needs, it's not really got a place. So I can do this. I don't know if this is going to work. So if there's snow around, it should create around the snow. I have a feeling this is going to make it very angry, and we're going to go back to square 1, which is me just putting in the tiles and then backing it off. Which may be what I have to do. We will see. We will see. So this, I could have used this end, but this is a deep end version. I don't want that. Even though this could be a deep end part of the lake, I want the deep end to be kind of out here and have some shallow in. And it looks havoc-y, but if I actually turn off the thing, you can see that I've still got to get some of the randomizing out of the water and stuff. The grid just helps for most part, and most of the time you just happen to decorate with the grid. I'm going to see if I just angered the gods of Godot. Once again, I'm going to save because it will delete all that stuff I just did if I don't, which is fun. And yeah, I'm going to try to terrain tile this. So right now, obviously, it's not showing my terrains. Mostly because it hates my life. It's also showing that my water only has one terrain, which tells me that it also hates me. I don't know. I think I broke it. Oh yeah. I 100% broke it. So this is what happens. It turns into a glob of mass. So no, we're not doing that. I'm not playing that game. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come into my tiles. I'm actually going to, I deleted that so it's not there anymore. I'm going to come into my tiles, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to create just a snow pattern in that area on this tile set. And what that's going to do for me is it's going to scatter a bunch of snow everywhere. And what mainly what I want to do is when I come back and fix it, it'll fix the area for me. I really don't need it that high. I just need it in the water. Because I don't want it affecting the pathway. So I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to see what happens. I may can back it off a little bit more because I do want some longer bridges. We'll just see how it draws it and we'll go from there. So now, make sure that's off. And it's going to draw the map for me, the piece I need. Which it did a terrible job at. Which means I need to put more snow down. Let's see. Let me bring the snow over here. I just need to put more snow down. I don't have enough snow to draw a proper area in order to make a path. I have a square now. I don't mind it coming down right there to its own, but I do mind if it looks like an actual path. I keep doing that. Let me try drawing from this way. Okay. Not the greatest. It's too square for me. I obviously want it to have a little character. I can give it character, but it's going to look really rough. I'm going to try to draw a pathway through this just to see what happens. See if I'm too close to the gods here. And so now that there's a pathway, the problem is it's treating the snowy edge on the path. Which means I'm at that point where I've screwed myself. Let me just back up like 1,000 meters. Back up. Did I just remove some of that bridge? Control Z. I'm trying to get to where I'm not removing the bridge. I don't know what I've done. Okay. I'm not sure where that went. It's going underneath something. What it's going underneath, I am not sure. The pathway wanted to hide there for a second. It should come actually up. And so maybe now, see, it's going to hide underneath it. So I'm as close as I can be to that. I can put a bridge over it, though. And honestly, I could make the path come above the bridge. Had a hair bothering me. So you can see right here, there's a snow piece. I'm pretty sure I can erase it. Maybe. According to what it's on. Nope. Nope. Sometimes it doesn't want me to erase it in that view. Sometimes I've got to erase it in another view. Okay, so it was finding the other pathing I had started. Great and all, not great. I'm going to back it out. And I'm going to repair that. Because I think that angle is not going to be appeasing to me. So I better change the locale of how I'm going to do that. I may bring the bridge over. I may make the freaking log. I don't know. Obviously, I do want a pathway over to here. And over to here. It makes no sense, though, for me to go zigzag. Heck, I could even do it right here. You go here. And maybe there's a bridge right here. And if you don't want to go the long way around, you just cut through right here and cut. So let's focus on putting maybe the super log over here. And see what happens. So obviously I do want the bridges to be higher than the thing. I'm going to be picky on which log I use. Too bright. Too bright. It's kind of dead. It may work. I'm going to try this one out. We'll see. It's on erase right now, so it's going to be very angry with me. And it's on, so there. And so maybe like that. I think that's actually what it's supposed to look like, where it's supposed to just be that, and then that's supposed to come off the side, and then of course that's supposed to be hanging off. So I think that's actually how it's supposed to be. It's kind of in a weird spot. I don't know if I may shape this a little bit different to make that not look so stand out-ish. So let me do that real quick. Oop, nope. Nope. So it's not doing anything because it wants the reverse version of it, which it wants me to give to it, which is very hard to do. I don't know if it knows that. I don't know if it knows that. Okay, so let me make the snow line again. The reason I'm doing it this way is because it allows me to break some of these up a little bit. And all I'm doing is erasing what's here, and then I'm just going to build on it from over here. I'll make sure, though, that that's hidden. Let's see. And I don't know why that did not get erased. Probably because I backed it so far. So I am going to get rid of that because it's going to cause an issue later. And I don't need issues. I need progress. So. Very much trying to make progress here. That's pretty good. That looks better. Okay, why did I end up over here? Alright, so why don't we walk with the character real quick. Let's see what these two look like. And decide if, oh yeah, that's good. That's what we'll stick with for right now. Or if not, I mean, these can always be changed later. If we find a better asset that fits that, I can go to, say, the bridges and know that over in this area, there's the bridges. And so I'm going to hit play up here. And this play button allows me to go into the game state, which is very much placeholder stuff at the moment. We are not worried about UI at the moment, but we're constantly thinking about it. We just have not found a UI that we really like for the program. And so this is kind of what you're dealing with. As you can see, this kind of makes sense for this to be the size of the character's pathways. And as you saw one of our slimes. He is hanging out. He's doing his thing. I'm going to punch him. He's going to punch me. And I'm just going to keep punching him. And he's dead. He does have collision right now. Even though our health bar does not seem to want to float above it, it's fine. But he does have collision, not condition. Alright, so we were walking across this. We go down here. Yada, yada, yada. I would like to have another exit. Probably be down here. And maybe walk across here. Then we have multiple routes to take, like I said. It's nice to be able to have a pathway drawn out so you can feel like you can make your own determination of which route, when you're collecting resources, is the fastest or which way is the most efficient. If you're only looking for a certain resource, like in Stardew, and I see an arrow right there. In Stardew, you know, if you're looking for spring onions, obviously you know the route to take for spring onions and so forth. Same with Roots of Pacha and same with Graveguard Keeper. You tend to know what path you want to take for what resources you need and thereforth. There's another error. And so, like I said, I can see errors in this mode a lot easier than I can see errors in any of the other modes. We're going to go up, and we are going to walk across. There's another one. Actually, that's a big error. We are going to walk across the other bridge, and we're going to just see how it feels. And as you can see, the area is quite big. When you zoom out the way you do, it doesn't seem like you're actually doing too much damage, and I can see an error right there with the water. But yeah, you're gonna have times where it doesn't make sense, and so why that area is so big. Why would I do that if I just need to add a few trees here and there and just pick some collectibles? Everybody will be more enthralled to it instead of having to walk 300 miles to get to something. So yeah, that is the game model. And I'm not sure. Okay, so it is showing the editor. So let me do this. Because it is probably shooting toward a specific screen. So I'm glad you pointed that out, because I'm not stream savvy. So I'm going to go in here and see the stream real quick. And it is game capturing a specific window. I do want it, though, to capture just our window. And so I want it to capture anything I'm doing. And so what I need to do is probably actually change the capture mode, which is fine. And I want to add in probably a display capture, I would assume. Capture method automatic. Display. Okay. And yes, you're going to see the funky 50 different windows. Give me just a minute. I've got to switch it out. And let me just see what happens if I remove this one. Okay, so it's going to show you all that, but what I want it to show is that. I don't know what you can see. So it's showing a bunch of windows. Okay, so that's going to be an issue. Because obviously it's capturing this display now. I need it to, let me see what happens if I do capture a window and go from there. I know you can see the game there, but what I don't want is you to be able to see all that glitchy. And it may just be that we're looking at it through the screen. It may be that if I just hide the thing, you can actually see. I'm going to wait till my phone updates the stream in order to see exactly what it's showing you in just a second. And so just give it a minute for it to upload for me, and that way I can tell if what you see is not virtually 1,000 windows at once. Okay, cool. See, what you can see now is me actually moving. And so I had the game going. In a second, you'll start seeing my character move if you haven't already. So you're going to get those issues. I am not a streamer. I do not mess with this stuff very much. And you will see that there are, and that's one of the errors I was talking about, that there are going to be times that you're going to have to help me be able to know what I'm doing. And so our buddy here, obviously, is still dead. He's going to remain dead until I upload the game because he doesn't have a respawn set yet. I do like how this feels right here, walking across that log. And once again, there's this bridge down here that we're going to walk across. Yeah, so it feels natural. I think it'll be better when the character has a shadow on him and we have actual shadows in the game. But right now, it is what it is. We have very basic resources. And so I'm going to pop this window off, and you should just now go back to seeing my Godot window. Once again, safety precautions. I'm saving my scenes again. Like I said, I don't want to crash out. It is likely going to happen. I've crashed out 3 times today. And one of those times, at least one of those times I forgot to save. But I'm going to go and fix these little mapping issues I have noticed real quick. And what I want to do after that is I want to start adding some scenery. I want to start working on an area and making it look good. We've got these bridges added. I will add more soon. No big deal. We don't have to add them all at once. But I do want to get a feel for how this map area is going to flow. Because if it doesn't flow, it's not going to be involvement to the player. They're not going to want to feel enthralled in the scenery. They're not going to want to feel like they're playing a game or losing themselves in a world of fantasy. And I definitely want people to feel like they are 100% into the game whenever they play it. And I know there's going to be like times where, okay, there's this error, but why'd you not notice it? Well, it's not like everybody can see errors instantly. You're going to come across times where there is errors, and then there's times that you're just not going to have an error. But yeah, I think I need to do, so I need to do the water over here. No, I don't want to do that. Where is it fighting me? Nope. Let's just back that up. Is it paths? Is that part of the paths that's causing that issue? Yeah, that part was, but that doesn't explain that. I need to figure out where that is. Ah, okay. That's better. Okay, so that doesn't line up perfect. It doesn't matter. It's a bridge. It'll look better when we start adding plants. There was a few more errors that I need to look at. Probably one of them was a corner. I know that was an error, and that needs to honestly be erased. I do believe that is a error on the erase part. It may have been a pathway, I think. Yep. So those are both pathway errors. Fine. Gonna go ahead and save. Okay. And then there was another one. It's a corner. I know there's a top part that's errored. I need to go this way. I can go and fix the top that's errored out. I'm not sure what layer I'm looking at, so I have to be very careful. Make sure I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. It does not look like it's that. Is it the ground? It's not the ground. It may just be the fact that I have not pulled the edge over. And that's a possibility if I was mapping it from a distance. It's just I have not pulled that edge over. And one of the other errors is right there. There is one more. Well, actually, a couple more, I'm sure. But mainly I'm just fixing these to where you don't see the spiked out edges. And it makes a little more sense. And I need to do more of those last pillar areas. That also requires me drawing a big old snowy circle. But it's fine. What I want to do is kind of start with this first area. I want to start kind of near the bridge. Obviously, like I said, there's going to be a waterfall here. And that probably honestly does mean that I need to make probably a little reserve lake right here. That way the waterfall flows into it. We'll get to that. Let's look at the cliffside. So I don't know if I've actually added tile sets to this. I have not. So I'm actually going to add a tile set to it. You go to new tile set. And then you go over here to tile set itself. You're going to add an atlas. The atlas is actually what you would consider your tile set. But the atlas is highlighted tiles within that tile set. So it's going to highlight the atlas if I want it to when it get in there. I'm going to go and have it highlight the atlas. So you don't have to. If there's only a certain amount of stuff that you actually want to be seen and clickable and you're afraid you're going to mess up, you don't have to have the atlas hidden. I mean, you don't have to have it showing. And so I have a lot of different things. I do have the sample for winter, but I do actually have the main forest winter set. I also have the Wang version, which is all the tiles set up in their forms that they need to be in. But the thing about that is it can be overwhelming. So what I am going to do is I think I'm just going to go with the forest. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. And you've already seen this tile set. You've seen it with the snowy edges and stuff where I've highlighted those different pieces. Yeah, there's going to be times where I'm just going to pull my hair out. I have not learned how to auto tile something as complicated as a cliffed edge, which might not even seem complicated, but it's complicated to me, and that's all that you need to know. So it'll be fun doing this part. We're going to do it in just a minute. But yeah, you can see different pathways that they have. You can see like the waterfall areas and stuff. You can see like watery like edgings, like maybe in like a what you may consider like a canal in a town or something, like a canal city or something like that, kind of like Venice. But yeah, you're gonna come across this stuff. Assume these are extra edge pieces or they are extra something pieces. I'm not sure what they have here. They do have some different corners. If I wanted to do it a little differently. I'm not just sure what those are. I'm assuming they have something to do with this. But I won't know until I actually get into that. So what I want to do is I want to actually make the waterfall area. The cliff side, as you know, may end up coming behind the trees. It should not. It should stand above the trees, but I'll be removing some of the tree wall as I build the cliffside because the tree wall is actually going to be on top of the cliffside. And so what that tells you is when you're looking at the cliff and you can't run into the cliff, you're going to see the trees above. And then there's going to be occasions where the trees may be below, where I may actually cut it off with the cliff side and actually have the trees below. That's kind of how you get your 3D feel with these games. But it's kind of all bland right now because obviously the trees are about the only thing that has shadow right now. And so they stand out. They're pretty. You know, they've got their shadows and stuff, but those shadows came with them. Where the bridges and stuff, they don't have their shadows with them. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to... So I've got the tile set. I can't do anything with the tile set right now. What I can do, though, is do this. And when you're working with stuff like this is obviously going to be in reverse. So it looks like there's a side curve here. There's also an entrance. If you wanted to bring this down to here, you could actually have an entrance way into a cave. And that kind of helps you whenever if you want to like do a cave or stuff. And I do plan on having a cave around here. I just have to wrap my head first around the fact of this. And what I do want is that backwards look. So what I need to do is not turn that on, that's for sure. If I'm going to make a water path, a waterway that has a waterfall. But I also want to make sure that you see the trees. I've got to be very, very careful where I place all these. Because that is where everything connects. There is a way to do these. I'll have to Google them, and maybe like tomorrow when I do the stream, I can actually look up exactly how to do this in tile map, and then we can easily tile map the rest of the area. But I'm going to be very particular about this area because I want to make sure that it looks good, and that it just blends better. It looks like it's supposed to. So that may be a little too much. It may need to go up higher, which is going to cause a pain. So I'm going to actually make it go higher. And the only thing it is if it comes like that, it's got to have somewhere to go. And so you almost have to keep wiggling it around. I don't know if there's a cave bottom with the water. I think there is. That may be it down there. No, it's definitely not the cave with the water. I think that's the cave with the and I may have should have went with the wang. I guess this would be the bottom, wouldn't it? Maybe. Maybe it should be like this. Yeah, it's a lot prettier. A lot better. Not a master at this. Do not ever consider me a master at this. The waterfall pieces, because some of these are the waterfall pieces, but I'll tell you what, this can be mind-boggling. Yeah. I've got to make sure everything matches up. That don't. That don't. Make sure everything matches up. Yeah, right. That does not match up. I mean, that does, but it's almost like it's got the mushroom top to it. I don't want the oh, I guess it is a mushroom top, or kind of. Maybe I should just start with the water line. Gotta love this. Wonder what would happen if I did look at the Wang series and see if the Wang set will let me just do it from there. I wish there was an auto tile set up already for this, but there's not. Snowy. Yeah. Here's the Wang set. This is mostly what this is this is a bunch of floor tiles, it looks like. Which is not helping me. Okay, so we do have to use the winter, which is fine. I'm learning, and so it's definitely going to be kind of sometimes intimidating. I can do it. I just got to find the way to do it. Let me go over here to Snowy Edge. Let me paint. No, I don't want to paint. I want to use the tile map. So here's what it's doing. I actually want the cliffside to come above these. So that way when I draw into... I didn't mean to do that. That way when I draw into... what did I do? I'm sure I did something. Oh, that's right. There's none in there. Let me bring cliffside down. So I want cliffside to actually go underneath it. Well, go above it. Excuse me. And when I draw over it, I want those tiles to disappear, you know, and look like I'm making a watery area. That is not what I wanted to do. And honestly, I'm going to back that out and redraw some of that. So there's that. And obviously we've got an issue here. I'm actually going to go into cliffside. I'm going to erase a few of these. Maybe. It's very picky. It doesn't like me. And I want to try to figure out this water tile set a little bit better. Obviously I know that works. What I don't like is the shadow right here. It may not be anything to me. It stands out like so much. But it may just be because of it being underneath the cliffside part. It may be the wrong tile. We're going to find out. So I'm going to just focus on these. This is the edge one. I don't want to erase them. I want to place them. Or maybe I want to place them there. No. I do want it to stop being a butt. Let's go back. So that's that tile. It looks like when these two tiles connect is where it gets a little bit off. It's fine. I'm sure that's just me being picky. That tends to happen. I'm a very picky person when it comes to this stuff. I do want it to look the best I can. And there's going to be times that it's going to look crappy. And yeah, I don't want that. So what I want to do now is kind of bring this over. And I want to finish this part out. And it looks like there's supposed to be another texture there. I'm sure it's somewhere in here. But I'm thinking if I put maybe two of these right there, the waterfall may come between that. It may need more room. And there's supposed to be a piece that goes there, and I'm not sure what piece it is. go. My goal is to find out what piece that is. Thinking maybe this right here. No. I'm amazed at how people can throw this together and be able to see every little detail. And I'm sitting here going, how in the hell am I supposed to know what that is? I did make sure to set this stream not for kids. Just in case I started cussing at myself because I couldn't figure something out. Yeah, because there's going to be times that you're going to go, dang, is she okay? Nope, I'm over here raging. So I just want to know what that piece is. I'm not sure what it is, though. Oh, my God. One of these pieces is not like the other. Come on, where is it? Is it one of these? No, because it's too big. It's got to be small. It's literally two small pieces, like barely touching each other. Like, I don't know where they are, though. Where are those pieces? It's supposed to be like almost like that, but it like wants to zoom it in really bad, and I'm like, no, that's not it. Could that work? Would that work? Can we do that? Is there another piece I can steal that looks just like it? Or is there only one? If there's only one, I'm gonna cry. There's gotta be the other piece somewhere. Will this one work? No, too stretched out. Okay. State of the art, I should not be this blind. Where in the world is this piece? Even if I zoom out, I can't see half the things because I'm blind as hell. Okay. There has got to be a secret. Tell me your secret, game. Too far stretched out. I mean, and we're talking about the water pieces over here. We're not talking... Now that's just stretched out. Okay. Hold your horses. I'm not sure. It's like just... I'm not sure where that piece is. I mean, it'd be nice to have a little... like, almost look rock beam. But if I can't find the actual piece to it... Is this them? No, they're too massive. Are these them? Can these be them? No, because they're supposed to be something else. That's technically what I'm looking for, is something like that, but that's too big. It's just, you know. And there are some trees in here, you see some individuals. This is not the tree tile set that did the tree wall with. The tree wall with is like, they call them Super 8s, and they're 128 pixel squares that are a pain in the butt. Because they're meant to be seamless, and so the more you want them big because you want to be able to make these trees look seamless without having 1,000 different tiles just to put one together. But yeah, it was definitely fun trying to build it. Man, I'm stumped. I don't know where this other piece is. I mean, I've just barely found that one. And this one seems a little outlandish. Yeah, I mean, it's out there. I don't know where this other piece is to make this look right. It could be staring me in the freaking face, which is possible. Maybe it's just these two pieces. Oh, yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? It would be those two pieces. Why would I choose those two pieces? Have mercy. Have mercy on my soul. Have mercy. Oh, my God. Okay, back to what we were doing, you know. Trying to be inventive, trying to successfully render ourselves, I don't know, appeasing, I don't know. I gotta figure out how to make those now look pretty. Because you know how that goes.
Because this goes from the water. Yeah, that's actually correct. But that part does not. Which means I've got to figure out which is the correct way. I'm going to assume it's those. It may look a little funky though. Then again, it may not. It may look right. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be these. No, because that's the edge pieces. And you want to have that seamlessness. Um, so you're going to have that look to try and do certain things. So I'm going to do that. And obviously it's got to stop there. And then I'm going to pull this up here. And these may look ugly. You may go, what is this girl doing? What is she? How is she even managing this? It's because I have no clue what I'm doing. It's just honesty. And you know that, Artie off. I try to be as honest as I can about things. And sometimes I just want to pull my hair out when it comes to this stuff. So. Oh, okay. So we're kind of getting somewhere. You're starting to get that 3D layering effect. Obviously, this is not. Does not look the best, obviously, because this is not exactly how you would normally tile these. So what we're going to do, and I don't know, there may be a cheat code or something I'm missing here. But I do know that we're going to have to go up, probably up, and then probably just like follow this real quick. Because I can do the, this may look terrible. Just saying. It may look terrible. It's not too bad. I can do the middle parts any day. That's not the problem. The problem is the fact that trying to get to the middle parts is my problem. So, like, making sure that you can see that there's the shadow effect. That comes with looking at what you're looking at. So, I have to take a look at this and go that this is curved inward. If I'm looking at it that way, then I know that there needs to be a shadow somewhere in there, or else it doesn't look right. It's the same for right here. It's like there's a reason why these tiles are layered the way they are. So that looks better to me, even though it looks like it's just copy and pasted together and thrown together. It looks correct than what it normally would. And then I need to figure out what piece goes there. And so that requires me to come up here and just determine what piece actually went there. Which I'm going to assume it was here, but that's not going to work. Because now we are coming to this point. We don't need this right there anymore. What we need is to continue our way back down and then bring it through. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase these parts because there's no point in them. Why would I have them there? But what that does entail is I need to figure out what part's going to replace it. And it looks like that since that part just disappeared, I need to actually bring in that same curved piece. About right there. And honestly, some of these are snow pieces, so I've got to be careful for that white. If I need to, I can come up. And, yeah, I don't know what magical piece is supposed to fit there to make this work. I'm going to find out, though, real quick. It's definitely not that one. I think it's this one. Nope. Because I still need the snow. Let me go back down here to the water series. Because it may still need the water piece to correctly fit. But that does not do me any good right there because of the way that's shaped. So I need to be very careful. It may be this piece. Yeah, so it was that piece. And I'm just looking for the fluidity. I want it to match up to what I'm looking at. And obviously I need to go into the piece that actually is for snow. And so that's actually going to be down here. Let me just check my time. I still got a little bit. I'm probably going to go till 8:30 tonight just because it took me so long to get things started. So we have about another hour of tonight's session. The only reason I'm doing 2-hour sessions is because if I talk too long, I start to lose my voice just like anyone else, and that becomes frustrating for me. It kind of makes me a little irritated, so I try not to do that. I don't want y'all getting a negative viewpoint out of this. I want y'all getting the most out of it and just enjoying your time with it. So what I'm doing now is I definitely want to figure out which piece actually goes with the snow pieces that I need. And what doesn't. It may not even be a snow piece. It may be the fact that I just need to find out what overlaying piece. But I do need that snowy effect rubbing up against the mountainside, so I am looking for a snowy piece. It'll take a second to figure out which one of these is not like the other. Normally you would think, hey, that's probably simple, just put that one there. It's not. I wish it was. But like I said, it does take a minute for me to find some of this stuff. And since there's so many different tile set pieces on here, it may be one of these, because you can see that there's some oddball tiles up here. Kind of making like for the cave top and stuff. See. I mean, it goes where it's supposed to. I need it, though, to go where it's kind of... So that was right. That's right. But that's not going to be right. And that's definitely not right. I don't know what that'll look like. That's still the same one. I didn't even change tiles. It's not terrible, but I could see that it's not well placed. I want to... My main thing here is I'm annoyed the fact that it's not really wanting to fit it. So I brought it down. Maybe it's not the fitting I need. Maybe it's... I mean, that could work if I bring in a tile like that and then have it close to the edge where there's already texture. And then work on bringing these snow pieces into play. Because I bring it in right here. Whoops. If I bring it in right here and there's already texture, then it doesn't look like an error, but I can tell that it juts out farther than the piece. So I've got to find another piece that's just like it. I don't want that, that sorry look like, wow, it didn't fit, but they just went with it look. Once again, picky. So I'm going to look through some of these, see if I can spot one that may fit my necessity to, and this is that one I was looking at, but there's got to be another one. And I don't think that'll work. No, it won't, because it comes out short. And that's the cave piece. I don't want it coming out like that. I don't want to go backwards. Let's maybe out of luck on this one. Wait. No, it juts out. That's the one I already looked at. See, there's not very many options for me to look at. Let me look down here at these again. Because I bet you, like, one of these would work perfect. But it's not going to look right. I'm going to spend forever trying to do this right. I'm going to spend forever frustrating the snot out of myself. So, let's see. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't like it. I don't mind it. I don't like it. I guess I could say it's coming out like that, but let's just leave it like that. Let's say we can't see that issue. I can see it just because I'm picky. You probably wouldn't care as a player if that right there stood out to you just because it looks like the edge is coming in. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to continue. It's probably going to irk me for the next 1,000 years. Just tell me to shut up and do my job, and things will be okay. Let's see. So now I need it to actually go back in to the snow region, which is going to be a problem again because, yeah, there's no snow region. There's no snow around the pieces like that. How does that look? It's not terrible. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's not great. Don't know what a preferential, if it's terrible or great sound thing would be. I do need to continue my though. Actually, you know what? I like the concept. I'm going to come back to it. Mainly because I don't want it to turn just quite yet. And the reason I don't want to turn quite yet, because maybe I need to turn it the other way. Which may not be as bad. So I'm going to bring that straight forward again. And this is why, talking to myself, it may sound psychotic, but at least if I'm talking to people in a video, I'm not sounding as psychotic. I just want it to look good. I don't want to give you guys something that's not good. I do want it to stand out. I do want it to flourish. And I'll just keep explaining that over and over that this is really like cool to be working on, but I don't want it to capsize. So let's talk this piece. Nope, that's still on erase. Let's talk that piece. That piece. That piece. So I am bringing the mountain out a little bit. I am going to start having it curve down. And so when you curve a piece like this down, you want to keep using the same angled pieces. And as you can see, I'm not letting the snow pieces in yet because it's going to take me a second to get those set in. And then they've got these pieces right here, which I think is this one is correct. Nope. I need this one. And what's going to happen is I've got this piece. And it's going to look weird because it looks like there's nothing there. But if you're thinking about it, you're seeing the rock face coming down. So you're not really actually seeing what you would presume as what it is. So what you end up doing is you bring that pathway down here and make it look fluid. Well, then your player character just can't cross this area right here. To them, it's just a blocked path. And so what I need to do now is I need to actually envelop these other snow pieces in one by one. Not racing them, because that's what I tend to do on accident. But walking them down and just bringing them together. And you'll notice that one of these is not right. I'm bringing it back up. And so that's how you create that corner piece. And how you create an edge that's, makes it look 3D realistic. Pretty easy to do this here. All you do is you just keep coming down, and it's going to end up making this world look a lot smaller, but also more lively. And so, what I would like to do is let's finish this. Let's get this piece looking like it's lively over here, and we should have plenty of time to do it now that I'm just to the pieces that just require me to do heavy facing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the top half first, and then I'm going to slowly walk my way down into the snowy part. Just because I can outline better with the top part than I can with the snowy part, because I know where I want my outline to be. And so let's say that looking at it from a point of view, I've got to have a piece where it can start curving. And I need to bring it down. And I'm going to bring it down by 3. Now, when I bring it down by 3 like this, it allows me to come back through and see kind of what I'm looking at on the shape of the cliffside. And it's pulling those trees and making them look like they're tire up. This is how they do it with all these games, is they are able to do this but create a pattern. Obviously, I don't want it just being a straight curved line up. I want to bring it down sometimes. I want to actually, like, at some point, make the curve come down. And whenever I actually do that, I actually have to utilize this piece again. So I'm going to utilize it again. And let's just bring it on down. So we have a little area over here, and then this is going to also be another area. I can put plants and stuff up here. Perfectly fine. And so now, again, I've got to bring it back out. I've got to make that line again to where you can see it. Now, this is going to be a little shorter. You may have the player character almost walking up against it because of how I've layered it, where these can be a little taller. And it's really just based off height preference. How tall do you want your world to be? Well, these worlds are made for a player character like us. And so they're just the right height to make it look like a cliffside, but your character could jump up and possibly touch the top. But then if you go into a huge mountainous region, it may be extreme heights. You can't have too short and you can have too tall. And it really does throw off the balance, so you've got to be very careful with that. So you get here, and let's just say we want to go and maybe do a method like that before I mess that up. I am going to shoot across. But I don't want to shoot across too much, because if I shoot across too much, it's not going to look good. And as you can see, I keep misclicking things because I'm talented. But this will allow me to add some cool areas in and kind of change up the pacing a little bit. Because I do want some of these areas to look a little different. And I didn't use the same edging right there because I think that edge actually leads to another edge. So what I may do is go ahead and just pop this edge back on. And I'm going to stop it there. So I'm going to work on this because I'm not sure where I want that to end yet. So I want to see what it looks like after I start building onto the actual layering part. So we're using that piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this, this. And that creates that wavy effect that you often see in games whenever you're seeing something like this built. What it does also do is it did that. So I've got to be careful about that. because this is a cave edge. I mean, there is nothing else connecting it, so I have to end it where it does not look like a straight line. If I do not end it where it looks like that, it will not make the same concept. And obviously, I want to make sure that the layering is correct. I do want to make sure that I selected the right snow. And so, yeah, it creates a little bit better snow layout and stuff. I am going to save. Don't want to mess this up. I like to keep making progress and not pull my hair out. But there is a problem here. You're going to notice that doesn't line up. And it's probably just because I actually need to go back and put that right there. That way it looks better. Zoom out. You can kind of see that we still have our mountaintop region and everything like that. Until I start putting plants up there and there's collision. This still looks flat. You could be like, oh yeah, I can walk across that. Doesn't look like it's tall. Until you actually feel the collision in the game, you're not going to notice. You're not going to be able to say, hey, yeah, that's exactly what that is. And so we're going to keep going. Once again, we're going to come back to this. I am going to change out that piece for that. And that also gives us a closer effect. Like I said, it's going to be rather close to the player. And so, yeah, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to slowly start moving. I'm going to make the wave effect. I may go back and edit the other pieces just to make sure that I did not mess that up on the wave effect up here. It doesn't look like it, kind of. Whoop, wrong thing. No, I did not mess up the wave effect, which is fine. And so down here, I still want that wave effect on that last piece just because it's not front facing yet. But then I need to come over here and I do need to do the front facings. You can choose how you want your design pattern to go. You can continue that, or you can just change it back up. Maybe you don't want these pieces. Maybe you don't want them next to each other. There's different things you can do right there to make that happen. And so back it out, and you still see we're kind of creating that atmosphere of that world and stuff. And then you got, let's see, what piece do I need here? I think it's going to be one of these. Yes, it is. And then we're going to go down, and we're going to bring another snow piece out. Creates a different layer effect, but you notice we do have something up here that's missing. Just a small piece like that will really take away the immersion. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to actually do it this way. Do that. Even though there's two, it's fine. And maybe I want to do it curved. Let's see. Is it going to be curved out? I do believe. Yeah, so it's going to be a curve out. And then, let's see. Snow. Should be a straight snow. Right on into the next piece. Next curve. You can't see the curve. It's fine. It's all about immersion and pulling together. I want to save. And like I said, this is just rinse and repeat. You're creating a world where your character can walk and there's unique aspects to it. The more that I build this mapping and do these, do more unique like shapes with the mountaintops and stuff, which I do plan to do over in this area. The only reason I'm being so nautical over here is because it's the entry area. And I want the waterfall to kind of be where it first stands out. I don't want a entryway where it's like, oh, this is the grandest thing you're going to see of the whole area. But there's going to be times where we have to have a little bit of blend to be able to create create atmospheric changes when it's time to show off the fun stuff. So, at this rate, I am going to shoot straight on down because obviously we're at a point where straight down is the option. And you know what? It's time. Let's just say right here is where I want it to jut off, and players, they can't go any farther up. Peace, that's it. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with the tree walls here. So the main thing would be that I create a split. So I erase part of the tree wall down the middle, straight across, and that's where I start moving the pieces. When the collision comes in, they're not going to see this part. So it doesn't have to come all the way out unless I want it to. If if I want it to come up here and maybe it's connected to this mountain region and then it jets up, I can do that too. But mainly when it comes to that, I'm going to stop here with the mountaintop because I want to focus on this area. I want to continue building the atmospheric area and all that. And so, like, you got these pieces right here. I feel like this lake for a waterfall kind of looks kind of small, but waterfalls don't have to have very big areas. Um, but to me, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like we've got the place we want. And so, what I'm going to do is, if I remember what I'm doing, I'm erasing on accident, is what I'm doing. I'm going to bring it out just a tad. I'm actually going to back it off right there. And it's okay if it looks a little... I think that looks better. And until I get that waterfall in there, I won't know exactly if that's what I want. But I do think it looks better. I do think it looks clean. And now I want to finish out this area and go from there. I am going to try to watch a video, like I said, to get the waterfall flowing and all that stuff. It's going to come in time because there's the beach. The beach texture is supposed to be animated. The water texture is supposed to be animated. I don't think I'm going to animate the actual water that is down because not even Stardew does that. The idea, though, is that it doesn't look like it's misplaced. And I do probably, since this is a deeper area and there's a waterfall, I do want a darker texture in here. I do want the deep water look. And so I'm going to see if I can actually add that right now. So you're dealing with an area that obviously has a waterfall. It's got to be a little bit deep. I'm actually going to back that. And I do want it to feel that way. I do want to feel like it does go a little bit deeper. And so whenever that waterfall texture gets added onto this coming down, then you're going to have the atmospheric look of, hey, okay, this works. There are going to be plants on these. We're definitely not even close done with this area. And I mean, there's still a lot of area to go by. It may take me a freaking whole month to map this entire place, but that's progress. And, it's going to take a lot, but I don't want to always just focus on this area. I do want to come to like a switch sometimes to a different area and do the spring forest. I want to do the world tree and all that. The world tree is going to be kind of neat because you're not going to really get to view it when you get to the demo. The demo, it's going to stop there. And that's because it's going to introduce the realms and stuff. So the world tree is not going to be just like, it's going to have a little bit of climbable features for like cool little secrets and stuff, but I don't want it to just be a whole map in its own. I want you to go into the middle of the tree and there's the portals or pathways to wherever you're going. And then there may be a challenge pathway to get to the next portal. I don't know. Different ways we can meddle with that, but a lot of the games that are creating with this tile set are using the world tree as a certain area. Perfectly fine. But I do want the world tree to stand out as just its hub. I want it to be important, but I don't want to go into where it's like, okay, you can explore in the entire place of Yggdrasil. That's not what I want because I want you to explore the realms. I want you to see Niflheim. I want you to see Swarvenheim. I want you to see all those different types of places. And like I said, there'll be some fun, maybe travel points, maybe in between the portals, maybe from the warp into the tree with the portal you go into. Maybe you do walk a tree, like a branch pathway there, and challenges await you during that pathway in order for you to get actually to the actual realm. It's definitely going to be a work in progress on that. I don't know what I'm doing with that. And so I can definitely provide the maps, but it's going to be required from other help to actually get to that point. What I want to do is I do want to save, and I want us to go into the game and walk that path right now and just see if we see any minor errors. See how it feels just to walk up against the tree line. I mean, the cliff line. And so we're over here, and we're on the other side. So at first, you're going to go up here, and so you got this area, and we're just going to kind of walk it. So, like, you won't be able to touch. You wouldn't be able to touch all this. It's probably going to be about that way. You're probably going to see about that ability. But it does feel like you're naturally walking. And then again, I may end up changing this part, but I do think it makes sense for that line to be there. And, it may just be me having to go into this tile set and making that line a little bit curved in at each of the points. You can kind of give me your feedback on that. Because obviously we are looking at it from a viewpoint that a top-down game would not see. But to me, it does feel like those trees are up higher. It does make me feel like we're not on the same level of those trees, even though we are. And so I do like that. I do like the fact that we feel like we're walking over a bridge. I do like the feel that we're, we won't be able to come up this far, and we won't be able to walk on the water, but imagine walking this line and then going onto the bridge and then going over. It gives that proper feel. So I don't think I got to show you the slime kill earlier just because the screen was all messed up. So I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to show you the slime. He's walking around over here. And hopefully more mobs will be added in soon. I'd like this area to have maybe up here to have some wolves and stuff. But I also want some deer and stuff because you will be hunting for meat and stuff like that. So the deer will drop meat. And you'll kill them with your bow and arrow or your knife or your dagger or whatever you want to kill them with, axe or whatever. And you'll be chopping trees. You'll be breaking stones, mostly in the mines for that. You may have some on your... I would like a resource thing on the homestead, but I don't want it to be a lot. I do want it to look more broken down stuff, not just cluttery. So that way you can repair things. And so our little buddy there. So yeah, this is kind of what we are dealing with. We've got about 30 minutes left. So let's add some plants and stuff. Let's kind of make this, finish this cliff side out real quick. Let's add some plants and stuff, and let's make this look nice. Kind of decorate this area. Make it look cool. Make it look clean. And so we'll go from there. So let's go back to the cliffside. Let's finish this water out. Go ahead and make this look like it's supposed to. And we'll go from there. Gotta go back over to tile map. Tiles. We don't have any terrains on this, so we definitely want to be in tiles. Yeah, so I do want to at some point figure out how to get that not so lined out. I'm sure there's something I need to do. I'm sure it's easy. I'm sure I'll figure it out. So let's see. Can I place that? Kinda. Let's go down from here. Ain't gonna go down as it. It's gonna be a butt. I want to go down, but I want to go a certain way. So if you were to go in reverse, which I love messing with on this because it's a pain. If you want to go in reverse from a tile set that does this. Would you go in reverse using this tile? Yes, you would. Okay. So you would go in reverse using that tile specifically. I
I definitely don't want the. But I do want. Let's see. Oh, nope. Okay, so should be over the cliffside stuff, which is fine, but it's trying to put water in. So what I want to do is nope. So I need to actually do it through a different one. That is fine. Well, kinda. It's not the curve I want. It's a little better. Okay, we'll just go up from there and just see what happens. We'll say that's an edge and say we'll go out from here. I don't know. It may be better to actually do this. It'd just be better to do that. Like I said, this is definitely me messing with this for the first time. Don't expect anything to look nice. Because I'll tell you what, it is quite a pain to do some of this. And then I'll come back to the top half because I am trying to figure out this little hiccup thing going on here. Kind of a little crazy over here. I don't know if that screams crazy to you, but there is something not flowing here that I don't like. So let's go up from here. I don't like it ending that fast. It's probably because I didn't do it this way, which is fine. Because it doesn't give the same pillar effect as these do, as long as I don't top it off like that. Let's see. So we're at the snow part. And let's just say we'll do that. It doesn't have to have the scoring in it. Let's just do the far scar. We'll put in one of those. We'll go ahead and do the pieces here. Mm-hmm. Just trying to see what those two looked like. They're not what I want.
you don't know what I'm doing, I'm trying to decide what I want to do roof-wise here, because I'm not quite sure what lines up right. I guess I need another another piece up here. And that does not need to be there. That does. Nope, that doesn't either. I was trying to figure out, and I think it was just because I didn't have the piece I needed to make it look right. And as you can see, we're at kind of a layer fight here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back that off. Nope, not what I wanted to do. No, it was these same pieces that I used. Maybe it's supposed to be these upward pieces. Maybe those. Oh yeah, that's better. I can dig that. I can definitely dig that being the tops. Then I can actually fix the edit. It can go back to being straight and we're all good. So we're going to go back down. I feel like maybe it's gone a little too far over. I feel like it's cutting that tree wall off just a tad. So we're going to bring it back over here and then shoot off. Still on erase mode. And maybe we should bring it down. Maybe it'd be cool to have it kind of encave it a little bit. Oh no, it may be a terrible idea. Just maybe a terrible idea. You want a three-handed battle axe? Sorry, it's taking me a minute to see your messages sometimes. What in the world are you going to do with a three-handed battle axe? Like, what would you do with a three-handed battle axe, sir? Be like, help this man. Have mercy on his soul. Snubs. That's me yelling at my dog. If you couldn't tell. That's a lot thicker. That doesn't look good to me. I like the thinner one. Yeah, I feel like those need to be erased out. I get why they're there for a preferential zoom out, but it's little overwhelming. He's still out there barking. I don't know why. He having a good old time. I'm going to let him do that thing. I'll strangle him later, just out of love. Won't I, buddy? Yeah. He just likes to bark. still feel like maybe it's a little boxy. Do you feel like it's a little too square? Do you feel like maybe it doesn't look right? Snubs. Snubble. It's humans. They exist. Um, I don't know what your opinion. Maybe they didn't. Right? Maybe the giants came down here and laid down those logs a long time ago before they went back to their realm. He's out there having a good old time. I can't solve his issues. I apologize. Give me just a second. Have mercy on my soul, my dogs. Let's see. I apologize for all the extra noise already off. So I may want to bring this in and then go back out. I don't know. What do you feel? Um, I do feel like there should be a little bit of a curl in, but I feel like maybe I did this too straight. Maybe I need to bring the middle part out and maybe unstraighten it right there. Um, Things will change as we decide that things look a little too like natural. Um, Maybe you came in with your three-handed axe and curved all these perfectly. I don't know. Let's see. But yeah, this is what we'll do. And then what I want to do here, just to make it feel like there's actually something here, I do want to do the water up top real quick. And as you see, you do see that the trees are getting covered a little bit. What I will do is I will come into the tree wall, take this, go into tiles, take this. And as you see, this is massive compared to what you're used to seeing. I don't know if they can see this all the way, this path, but I do want to bring the water up a little farther just to make sure. And that's deep water. I do not want the deep water up here. And just make sure I'm making it look as natural as possible. And I can stop it there. Yes, the tree wall you can see is a little messed up. I can fix that. Whoop, not that much. By bringing some of this out. So it's being picky. This is what the tree wall likes to do to me. And I'm going to go into the main mode real quick. I'm going to save. And I just want to see how far I could see if I was at that borderline. Could not see any more of the river. Yeah, that's true. Let's decorate it, and then if I have to, I can hide the aesthetics, the foliage and stuff, and then I'll unsquare that at a later session. Because I'm sure as soon as I get to where I'm like halfway done with this thing, we might be going back to parts that we have already done and editing them out, and that is possible. So if I was to go here, this is as far as I could see, and then I just want to check over here in a natural aesthetic. Okay. So that's good. You can't see the errors I've made up there, but you'll be able to see the waterfall and know it's coming naturally from there. I think that looks great. And I think when we get the waterfall, the 3D aspect will come in great too. Yeah, I may make it to where it bulges out right here a little bit, or, like it kind of like how this does, where it kind of has a bulge effect. I don't mind this one being straight out as long as there is a bit of a bulge right here. I do think that maybe the diamond shape is a little sometimes underwhelming. Same with here. I want to do something more here. Um, Maybe I just need to shoot it out here and then us just add decorations. I just maybe need to stay closer to the tree wall and just follow it. It's going to take time. Yeah. So, but I do like where we're at so far. I do like how it looks. So, yeah. We've only got about 10, 12 minutes left. I do have some of the trees. I do have some of that. So, like you were saying, if we were to add some trees around here, which would be foliage, which I've added a bunch, it's all the winter stuff. I'm not doing any tile maps, auto tiles with this either. What I want to do, and you can't see anything. Tile set. That's fine. Tile map. Oh, because it's zoomed out too far. I was like, why can't you see anything? What's going on? It does have water pieces. Obviously, it's not going to show them right now because guess what? The part actually needs to come below the water. But yeah, you've got little things like this. Something as simple as that brings out the livelihood of the game. We obviously can't have a rock. And I actually may bring it below the cliffside. That way I can do that. We won't have a rock being there, and obviously all of them will not be snowed on. You're gonna see times when it's like, here's some bushes. And, it's going to be a layering thing. If I want two bushes to run up together, I'm going to have to create another foliage layer over time. It's fine. That's the process of having foliage. That's just the way it is. If you want things to look natural, you have to make sure that it is layerable. And see, that doesn't even go underneath the bush, the thing, which I can bring it down below the bridge. It's fine. What I don't want is it becoming the child of the bridge. I want it to go below the bridge. But there's some others. There's bigger logs. Here's a stump we can put in. Put that there. And you're going to see just different cool things we can do. Obviously, with it being able to layer over stuff, it makes the world look more realistic. Looking at some other locations, we've got these that are also like reeds. You can put reeds down. Put down a smaller one. We got some dead grass. But we also have like tall grass. So we have like tall wheatgrass that's snowed on. It's not going to make sense right here. But maybe like there's like seeds and stuff. And then you got more bush styles. So yeah. Then we have like the clean stuff. So this is like the winter stuff that is not currently being snowed on. You've got like a piece of log. This one actually probably look better. It's like that. You got the prefab without the snow. Um, More rock without the snow and the water. I mean, this is for the winter area. It's just they don't have snow on them. And then you got the logs, which I think this one would look good. So yeah, we've got different things to play with. They will all have to have collision on them. They will all have to have different pieces. I think that's all. Wait, nope, I have more. This has got leaves on it. This is the leaves season. Here is a tree without, and it's already got its shadow, but here is a tree without its, and the trees honestly need to be on a different play because they have to be seen. So I'm going to put actually a winter tree down. So yeah, you can see that. And it does need to come above the cliff line. So yeah, there's cool little things you can do. It's not the only tree there is. You've got some tall trees. Some of these trees are going to be like maybe in different areas of the woods. Maybe I want to do like a crystal forest or something where this taller tree would make more sense than these dead looking trees. It would not make sense for me to put them in that environment. Um, but yeah, they do have their shadows already. And I mean, it looks pretty neat. Got some cool aspects. Obviously, I don't want to steal the show with these trees. I do have these trees for the most part in their broken form. Because these are the trees that go with this set. I feel they have more life to them than our trees. Do I want to go away from our trees? No, but do I think for the better of the game that if we can make these work, then it's fine? Yes. I do want to make the game look natural. Would you rather? I think that chopping one of these trees down would make more sense than not. But I can have an area where it's like we have trees that actually grow. There's growable tree pieces with this series, and there's also these tree pieces as well. So we may be able to use those as a chop system. All it would require me is cutting them in half and making them look like they fall over. No big deal. So yeah, you got that, and then some of these other stumps and stuffs are in here. You got little rock pathways. Like say we wanted to do one of these straight edges. We didn't want it to look as if we're walking up the path or something. We could change it into a lesser flat area. Obviously, with it looking like it does, we would need to actually do a snow part, and then like the road would actually be snowed on, not the other part. So it may take me playing with that, but that's like the muddy route. I mean, if we want to do it that way, um, obviously it makes sense. I'm not quite sure where the bottom is though. Is this the bottom or is it the top? That must be the top. Let's do that. Alright, now let me just go back and change the pathway. I guess it doesn't need to go up that way. With it only being a 3x3, it may make it harder to create that illusion. It will make it harder to create that illusion, won't it? I'll have to figure that out. We'll come back to that idea later. Right now, I'm fine with it being just blank and then it just feeling like you're going up the mountain or something. So yeah, I think that is where I'm going to stop tonight. You can always ask me questions on anything. If you have some inspiration that you want to shoot out for an area, let me know. If you're like, hey, since you're starting it out like that, why don't this area be that? Definitely can work with it. It's going to be a rather large area in this part. I do, because our character does walk fast. I do want him to slow down a tad just for the aesthetic of not feeling like you're running faster than the game is actually supposed to feel. Because when you're running on the character right now, I just feel like I'm running way too fast for the whole situation. I need to slow down just a tad. But I won't be able to get that feel until we start working really more in there. That is a little square right there. Like I said, trees and stuff definitely will fix that foliage. And then I do want that to jut out. Because I want to bring this bottom part right here and make it another mountain situation. And this area right here that you see is almost as big as that area. So it's going to take us quite a minute to get through this. That's why I said we may switch to different building schemes over time. With that being said, I would have to redo all of the tree walls and all that stuff. So if you prefer that I just work on a piece that's already there, I can definitely work on trying to get some more of these tile maps, tile sets put up together, terrain sets, and that way it's faster. Because it's going to take time. I'm just going to be honest with you. And doing those ledges one by one is quite tedious. And having that auto tile makes it more natural looking, and it allows you to reshape your world a little better. And so I guess that's going to probably be the end of it tonight, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And my vacuum just kicked in. I'm going to do it at the same time, 6 to 8 tomorrow. And then after I figure out what my schedule is for the next upcoming week, I will work on getting some more dates for y'all. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you have any questions, send me messages. You can join us on our Discord, and you can find that in the link on the channel. But y'all have a great night, and I will chat with y'all starting tomorrow.